Good afternoon, everyone. It is a little after 4 o'clock, and we are here at Central Count, where we are processing absentee ballots. As of right now, we have 61,264 ballots returned, and about 30 minutes ago, we had processed on the tabulators, already run through the machine, 35,236 ballots, so well over halfway. The way it works at Central Count is it takes us more time, attention to detail, to open the envelopes, assign voter numbers, and get those ballots flat from having been sitting in envelopes. We are much faster at processing, so I think we are still on track to be finished between 10 and 11 o'clock tonight. Everything is going very well out in the field. We have had some very bustling polling places, so we still expect voter turnout overall to be between 70 and 75% of registered voters. I am happy to take questions, and then I also will give you all the stand-up interviews that you want, so long as they're not more than like 3 minutes each, right after this. So as of right now, we have not had any issues that haven't been able to be addressed at the polling sites with observers. We're having really great communication with our observers. If there's been a misunderstanding, everything has been able to be remedied without having to issue any order to leave. And so far, observers are 50% of the process when it comes to democracy, and everything's been going really well, having good communication. And that includes here at Central Count as well.
I think originally you had said you were expecting anywhere between 80 and 90,000 absentee ballots returned. At this point, it's just over 61,000. Are you expecting to hit that 80,000 mark, or probably not?
No, so I originally, and it's hard to predict voting trends now post-pandemic, but I thought we would have between 70 and 80,000 absentee ballots issued. We have just over 67,000 absentee ballots issued. So we are not going to go anywhere above that mark. I expect that we'll probably still see a few hundred trickle in this evening, but we are probably close to seeing the final number of what we have to get opened and counted.
But can you give us some sense of, you said that everything has been addressed with observers at the polls. What kind of, things have people been navigating? What kind of conversations?
So some of the things that people have been navigating with observers have included just voters questioning why someone's watching them. Our election workers are well trained, our observers have been well trained, but I think that there have been some concerns from voters themselves. So just increasing education on the role of an observer. That's really the only issue that I've been made aware of. We haven't had any issues with observers here at Central Count today. Everyone has been on their best behavior. We have great systems in place, and everything's going really well.
Have you seen more observers than usual, or about the same number?
I believe we're seeing about the same number. I am not out in the field, though, and we won't know until the days after when we review those observer logs to know exactly how many observers. But here at Central Count, now the number will grow as we get closer to the end. But so far today, we've had less observers and less media than I think we were preparing for.
And when you say 70 to 75% turnout, what is that in raw numbers, and how does that compare to 2019?
Oh no, Patrick's asking me to do math, and I'm not good at math right in front of me. And I don't have the numbers right in front of me, but it would be very comparable to 2018's turnout. 2018, I believe, saw about 72% of registered voters turning out and voting in the city of Milwaukee.
But are you seeing any surge in registered voters who are registering?
So we always have a surge in voter registration on Election Day because we have Election Day registration, and especially in general elections. A lot of people will be making an address change since the last time they voted. We won't know the total number of registered voters after today's election until December, because a lot of those will just be address changes. So it's not a new voter, it's just moving a voter record to a new address. So it shouldn't affect our voter registration numbers in any large amount. But we always see a lot of voter registration, and we have a lot of registrars trained and out there registering voters in all the polling places.
What's the number in the room here? People?
Roughly, we have about 250 workers. We did get ahead. We had almost everything opened, so a lot of the workers that you see right now, some of them are sitting just waiting for something to do because it is just a waiting game. We need them here to make sure that we're double checking all of the work on the machines, but then we also can receive ballots incoming throughout up until 8 o'clock. They can be dropping off at the Wisconsin Center District or at City Hall. So we are still receiving ballots, but we are completely caught up right now. We did not have a people problem of people showing up.
DOJ have been expecting to be at some locations. Have you had any representatives stop here or polling places?
We have not had any Department of Justice representatives stop here to my knowledge. I do know, and they contacted us in advance to let us know that they'd be out at the polling places. They introduced themselves to the election inspectors, and then they're just there to observe. But I don't know exactly how many. That's not something we asked the chief inspector to call us about. Instead, they will record that on their inspector's statement, and that's again something that we review after the election. I'll take one more question before we break out, and you can then all pull me into different places.
There were some high-profile races in this election, a lot of attention even across the country, and in addition to DOJ, social surveying as well. Can you just describe the mood amongst the people who work in your office and volunteers?
Yeah, I think the mood has been really great today. Between our observers, our workers, everything has actually, I don't want to say surprisingly, but been really open, really transparent. And really, I don't think anyone's experienced a great amount of stress. Any decision we're making it publicly. We're allowing photographs of the paperwork so that if someone wants to have a record of something. So, and the same thing in the field to my knowledge. Everyone, I think for our workers and our observers, we're all here for the same purpose, which is to make sure our democracy is functioning well. And it's been a civic-minded mood, I would say. All right.